Good morning slash afternoon slash evening, everyone. Today, I want to talk about something that every single one of us has the power to do, yet so many of us hesitate to begin taking control of your life. Life isn't something that simply happens to you, it's something you actively create every day. Whether you realize it or not, the decisions you make, the mindset you adopt, and the actions you take are shaping your reality. The good news: if you don't like where you are, you have the power to change it. Too often we give away control to fear, to procrastination, to other people's expectations, or to our past mistakes. But the truth is, your future is not written yet, and every moment you're alive is another chance to steer your life in a new direction. Taking control doesn't mean life becomes easy. It means you stop waiting for permission, you stop blaming the world, and you start becoming the kind of person who builds solutions, not excuses. It starts with self-awareness. It grows through discipline, and it thrives in the small, consistent choices you make every single day. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be willing to take the first step and then the next. Because the life you want, it doesn't respond to wishful thinking, it responds to action. So today, I challenge you, stop waiting. Don't let your life be dictated by circumstances. Decide who you want to be. Decide where you want to go, and take control of your life. The very first step in taking control of your life is recognizing that you have the power, more power than you may currently believe. We live in a world where it's easy to feel small. We're constantly bombarded with messages about what we should be doing, how we should look, what success is supposed to mean. Social media, society, and even meaning people around us can create the illusion that our lives are being directed by forces outside of our control. But the truth is this: your power lies in your ability to choose. You have the power to choose how you respond to your circumstances. You have the power to choose your thoughts, your words, your actions. Even when life throws challenges your way, and you still get to decide what those challenges mean to you and what you'll do about them. Too often, people believe their lives are shaped primarily by luck, fate, or what others allow them to have. But that belief keeps you stuck. It robs you of your drive, your self-worth, and your potential. When you believe you're powerless, you act powerless, and your life begins to reflect that belief. But when you begin to truly own your ability to shape your life, something shifts. You stop waiting for someone to come and save you. You stop looking for the right moment to start. You realize that you don't need perfect conditions, you just need to start from where you are with what you have. Recognizing your power also means being honest about the ways in which you've been giving it away. Maybe you've been letting fear make decisions for you. Maybe you've let your past define your future. Maybe you've been living someone else's dream instead of your own. That's okay. The point is not to feel ashamed, but to wake up. You are not a passive observer in your life. You are the author. Every single day, through your choices, whether conscious or unconscious, you are writing the story of your future. And here's the key: you don't have to do it all at once. You just need to start by believing in your ability to make a difference in your own life. Once you recognize that the power has always been within you, you can begin to build a life that reflects your true values, your deepest goals, and your highest self. You are not powerless. You are not stuck. You are not too late. You have the power to change, to grow, and to become the person you were meant to be, but it starts the moment you recognize that the pen is in your hand. Once you recognize your power, the next crucial step is this: take full responsibility for your life. Now, I want to be clear: taking responsibility does not mean blaming yourself for everything that has happened. It doesn't mean ignoring the fact that life can be unfair, that you may have faced hardships, trauma, or circumstances outside of your control. What it means is this: you are responsible for how you respond, for what you do next, and for the life you create from this moment on. When we avoid responsibility, we give away our control. We start saying things like, "I can't be successful because of the way I was raised," or "I would be happier if other people treated me better," or "I'd go after my dreams, but life just keeps getting in the way." These statements may feel true, and they may reflect real struggles, but they also lock us into a mindset of helplessness. And when you believe you're helpless, you act helpless. But here's the truth: your life is your responsibility, no one else's. No one else can live it for you. No one else can make your decisions. No one else is responsible for your attitude, your effort, your self-worth, or your healing. The moment you accept that truth is the moment you begin to regain control. Taking responsibility is about owning your choices, both the good and the bad. It's about being honest with yourself. What habits are holding you back? What beliefs have you been carrying that no longer serve you? Where have you been making excuses instead of making changes? That kind of self-reflection can be uncomfortable, but it's also empowering. Because if your choices helped shape your current reality, then new choices can shape a new one. It also means letting go of the blame game. It's easy to point fingers at your boss, your parents, your partner, the economy, or even the universe. But blaming keeps you stagnant. Responsibility, on the other hand, puts the keys back in your hand. It shifts your focus from "why is this happening to me?" to "what can I do about it?" This mindset shift is the foundation of personal growth. Because once you stop waiting for someone else to fix your life, you can start taking action. You can start learning new skills, setting better boundaries, healing old wounds, and building a future on your own terms. Taking responsibility is not always easy. It requires courage. It requires humility. It requires you to stop hiding behind excuses and start facing the truth about where you are and why. But it's worth it because only when you take ownership of your life can you truly begin to change it. Responsibility isn't a burden, it's a form of freedom. When you own your choices, you own your power. You stop being a passenger and you become the driver. Not everything that happens is your fault, but everything going forward is your opportunity. After recognizing your power and taking full responsibility for your life, the next essential step is to set clear goals. You cannot take control of your life if you don't know where you're going. Think about it like this. Imagine trying to navigate a city without a map, without an address, or even an idea of what you're looking for. You'd wander aimlessly, wasting time and energy, constantly guessing every turn. That's exactly what life feels like without clear goals, busy, noisy, and directionless. Setting clear goals gives your life focus. It brings structure to your energy. It transforms random effort into intentional action. A person with a goal is like a magnet naturally drawn toward purpose, progress, and productivity. Without a goal, you may still move, but you'll rarely move forward. But let's be honest, many people avoid setting goals because of fear of failure, fear of not being good enough, or fear that they'll change their mind later. Some say, "I'm just going with the flow," or "I'll figure it out as I go." And while flexibility is important, drifting through life without direction often leads to regret. Clarity doesn't trap you, it frees you. It tells your mind where to focus, and it tells the world what you're working toward. A goal doesn't have to be grand or impressive to be meaningful. It just needs to be clear and aligned with who you are and what you truly want. It could be personal, like improving your health or building confidence. It could be professional, like starting a business or learning a new skill. It could be relational, like being a better partner or reconnecting with your family. The point is not to impress others, but to guide yourself. Setting clear goals also helps you measure progress. It's one thing to say, "I want to be better," but what does better mean? How will you know when you've grown? Specific goals give you something to reach for, to track, and to adjust when needed. They help you stay motivated when the excitement wears off and remind you why you started when challenges arise. There's also a psychological shift that happens when you define your goals. You start aligning your behavior, your thoughts, and your habits to match the direction you're heading. You stop chasing distractions and you start investing your time where it matters most. You begin to act with intention instead of reaction. And when you write your goals down, when you say them out loud, when you commit to them with consistency, they stop being distant dreams and start becoming part of your identity. You no longer just hope things will happen. You begin to expect them, work for them, and bring them to life. A clear goal is not just a target, it's a declaration. It's you saying to yourself and the world, "This is who I'm becoming. This is what I'm working toward. This is the life I choose to build." One of the most overlooked yet most critical aspects of taking control of your life is learning to manage your time and energy. These are your two most valuable, non-renewable resources. You can lose money and earn it back. You can make mistakes and recover, but once your time is gone, it's gone. And if your energy is constantly drained, even the best opportunities will pass you by. Time management isn't just about calendars and to-do lists. It's about priorities. It's about deciding what truly matters to you and making space for it not someday, but now. Because here's the truth. If you don't design your own schedule, someone else will do it for you. If you don't choose how to spend your time, the world will choose for you, and often in ways that benefit others, not you. Likewise, managing your energy is just as important and often more overlooked. You could have all the time in the world, but if you're exhausted, burned out, or emotionally overwhelmed, that time won't be used well. Energy is the force that fuels your actions, your attitude, and your creativity. Protecting your energy means recognizing what drains you and what restores you and being intentional about both. Start paying attention to where your time is going. Are you constantly distracted by your phone, social media, or mindless entertainment? Are you spending hours every day on tasks that don't move you closer to your goals? Are you saying yes to things out of guilt or habit rather than genuine desire? It's not that those things are always bad, but without awareness and boundaries, they steal your focus and leave you feeling busy but unfulfilled. Now ask yourself, where is your best energy going? Are you giving your freshest, most focused hours to your dreams, your growth, your health, and your purpose? Or are you giving the best of yourself away to people, problems, and pressures that don't align with your future? Taking control of your life means learning to protect your time like it's sacred, because it is. It means giving your energy to the things that light you up instead of constantly reacting to every distraction that comes your way. It means building a life around your values, not just your obligations. This also involves learning the power of no. Not every opportunity is worth your time. Not every request deserves your energy. Saying no to something that doesn't serve you is really saying yes to something that does your peace, your goals, your vision. It's also about self-care, not as a luxury, but as a strategy. Rest is not a weakness. Breaks are not wasted time. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you cannot create a meaningful life while constantly running on empty. Schedule rest, protect your mental space, replenish yourself often, because sustained progress requires sustainable practices. You only get 24 hours in a day. The question is, how are you using them? Are you spending them, or are you investing them? Are you reacting to life, or are you creating it? When you learn to manage your time and energy with intention, you stop living by default and you start living by design. If you want to take real, lasting control of your life, you must learn to develop self-discipline, because the truth is, motivation will get you started, but discipline is what keeps you going. Most people wait until they feel like doing something before they do it. They wait for inspiration, for the right mood, for some magical spark of energy to carry them forward. But the reality is, those feelings are fleeting. Some days you won't feel like getting up early. You won't feel like going to the gym, studying, staying consistent with your goals, or doing the hard things that growth requires. That's when self-discipline becomes your greatest ally. Discipline is about doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's the quiet force that separates people who wish for progress from those who achieve it. It's waking up when your alarm goes off, not because it's easy, but because you made a commitment. It's choosing your long-term goals over short-term comfort again and again. But self-discipline is not about punishment. It's not about pushing yourself to exhaustion or living without joy. It's about making intentional choices that align with your values and your vision. It's about gaining control over your impulses so you can live in alignment with who you truly want to become. Think of self-discipline like a muscle. You're not born with it fully developed. It grows stronger through repetition and effort. And just like any other muscle, the more you use it, the more capable you become. Every time you choose to stay focused instead of giving in to distractions, you build it. Every time you follow through on a promise to yourself, you strengthen it. Every time you push through resistance, you prove to yourself that you are in charge, not your moods, not your cravings, not your excuses. Discipline also builds self-respect, because when you consistently do the things you said you would do, you begin to trust yourself. You stop seeing goals as distant dreams and start seeing them as inevitable outcomes of your effort. You create momentum, and that momentum turns into confidence. It's not about being perfect. There will be days you fall off track. That's normal. What matters is that you get back up, that you keep going, and that you stay committed to the process. Progress isn't made in giant leaps, it's made in small, consistent steps repeated over time. And the engine behind those steps is discipline. Self-discipline also brings freedom. It sounds like a contradiction, but it's true. When you have the discipline to take care of your responsibilities, to follow through on your goals, and to structure your life intentionally, you create the freedom to live the life you truly want, not one dictated by distractions, reactions, or regrets. So if you want to take control of your life, start by mastering your choices, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's not. Because in those moments when discipline takes over, you are no longer a prisoner of your impulses. You become the architect of your future. If you truly want to take control of your life, you must learn to overcome fear and doubt, not by pretending they don't exist, but by refusing to let them run your life. Fear and doubt are two of the most powerful forces that hold people back. They whisper in your ear, telling you that you're not ready, that you're not good enough, that you might fail, or worse, that you'll succeed and still be unhappy. These voices often come from past experiences, from criticism, or from a society that constantly tries to measure your worth against impossible standards. But here's the truth: everyone feels fear, everyone has doubts. Even the most successful, confident, and courageous people you admire. The difference is that they don't let fear stop them. They've learned how to act in spite of it. Fear is not the enemy in many ways. It's a signal that you're stepping into growth. It shows up when you're doing something new, something meaningful, something that pushes your limits. If you're afraid, it often means you care, and that's not something to run from, that's something to move through. The same goes for doubt. Doubt is part of being human, but doubt doesn't have to be your truth. Just because a thought enters your mind doesn't mean you have to believe it. Your brain is wired to protect you, not to empower you. It will always default to safety, to comfort, to the known. But growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. It happens when you dare to push past it. You must learn to question the fear instead of letting it control you. Ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? What's the worst that could happen? And if that happened, could I handle it? You'll often find that fear is a shadow, not a wall. It only looks big until you face it head on. Overcoming fear doesn't mean eliminating it completely. It means choosing action over avoidance. It means showing up even when your hands are shaking. It means being willing to fail forward, to learn from every mistake, and to keep moving despite the uncertainty. And here's the powerful part: every time you act in the presence of fear, it loses its grip on you. Every time you prove your doubts wrong, even just a little, you rewrite the story in your mind. You start building a new identity, one based not on fear, but on courage. You also begin to understand that confidence is not something you wait for, it's something you build. You build it by doing the thing you're afraid of. You build it by keeping promises to yourself. You build it by stepping outside your comfort zone, one brave moment at a time. Don't let fear be the loudest voice in your life. Don't let doubt be the reason you never try. You were not born to play small. You were not made to live a life of what-ifs and regrets. Fear might always be there, but it doesn't get to sit in the driver's seat. You do. If you're serious about taking control of your life, one of the most powerful decisions you can make is to surround yourself with the right people who support your growth, challenge your thinking, and hold you to a higher standard. We often underestimate just how much influence our environment has on us. The people we spend the most time with shape our thoughts, our habits, our beliefs, even our sense of what's possible. Whether we realize it or not, we tend to absorb the attitudes, energy, and expectations of those around us. So, if you're constantly around people who are negative, who settle for less, who talk about problems more than solutions, who mock your goals or dismiss your dreams eventually, that mindset seeps into your own. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with people who believe in excellence, who are actively growing, who talk about ideas instead of gossip, who encourage your ambitions instead of mocking them, everything changes. You begin to think bigger, you feel more courageous, you start to hold yourself to a higher standard, not because of pressure, but because of inspiration. This doesn't mean you have to cut everyone off or live in a bubble. But it does mean you need to be intentional about who you allow into your inner circle. Ask yourself, do the people in my life lift me up or drag me down? Do they fuel my fire or put it out? Do they challenge me to become better, or do they enable me to stay stuck? The right people will hold you accountable not out of judgment, but because they want to see you win. They'll call you out when you're making excuses. They'll remind you of your potential when you're tempted to shrink. They'll support you when things get hard, not by fixing your problems, but by reminding you that you're capable of handling them. And sometimes the right people aren't in your life yet, but that doesn't mean you stop looking. Read the books, listen to the podcasts, join the groups, attend the events, put yourself in places where growth-minded people gather, and over time, you'll start building connections that align with who you're becoming, not who you used to be. You also have to be willing to be the right person in someone else's circle. Support others, uplift them, be a source of encouragement and accountability. The relationships you're looking for aren't just built on what you get, they're built on what you give. Strong relationships are a two-way street, and when you show up with authenticity and consistency, you'll attract others who do the same. It's often said that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and whether that's entirely scientific or not, there's deep truth in it, because your circle becomes your mirror. If you want to level up your life, start by leveling up your environment. Surround yourself with people who reflect where you're going, not just where you've been. People who speak life into your dreams, not doubt. People who see your greatness, even when you can't yet see it yourself.